My name's Bella Gay. This is my daughter Genevieve. She's my middle girl. I've got 3, which is very exciting. I grew up on this land here, and despite thinking that I would never live here as a teenager, we're back. We think it's just the most beautiful place to have a family, so we're really excited to be home and be raising our girls here. Living on the land is just the most beautiful environment to bring up a family, especially girls. I really hope that living here can teach them the values we grew up with, you know, what's really important is family and respect for animals and respect for the land. My sister and I and our partners have just picked up the family business from my parents. They've been running this farm for 40 odd years. And we're in the process of learning how to do what they do, but also do things slightly differently. So it's been a steep learning curve over the past 5 years while we've tried to pick up managing the cattle and also learn more about the environment that we have and how we can not ruin what Mum and Dad did, but also do things differently. So Mum and Dad had a big priority on native grasses and sustainable land management. And we don't want to upset anything that they've done, but in the same way we also want to change the way we work the farm. So we've started testing different areas of the property to understand what the soil health is doing, and so we can improve the pasture and divide the farm a little bit more according to the natural environment. This means that it's a long-term plan. You know, we testing, dividing, taking photos of the land at different times of year, and then also changing different elements. So whether that's trialling lime or trialling phosphorus or checking an area that's been really trampled by cattle, just to see what effect it has and to see basically what we can get away with without damaging the area, and how we can really effectively manage it. What's really special for me being here, like my sister said, is just the quiet. We both have noisy families, so it's really nice to have some peace. But because we have such a diversity of landscape, we've got paddocks with barely no trees, plus really dense bush, hill paddocks with incredible views that look over the countryside, plus also town. I feel like every time we come here we discover a different new little landscape, and I'm really excited to share that with my girls and with my sister's kids. Something that I'm proud of on our farm is how two things. Firstly, how we're growing happy cows, and I think that can be largely misunderstood in the ACT being largely, commercial industry. There's not much farm. All our population is people working in town. So I think there can be a bit of a misunderstanding about animal welfare on properties, and I'm really proud that we're doing the right thing on our farm, but also generally across the ACT. I think we're, as a community, managing properties really beautifully and with animal husbandry in mind. The other thing that I'm really proud of that we're prioritising is low emissions farming. You know, we want to have a sustainable farm that we don't feel guilt about and is also doing the right thing. So that's part of the reason that we're evaluating the soil health and making sure we don't overgraze, even accidentally overgraze, and look into other ways to make a profit from the business as well. So my parents have been cattle farming, but perhaps there are other ways to do things. A challenge for women in agriculture, I think, is much like any other male-dominated industry. You know, things are just built for men, and you have to work a little bit harder to be heard. Having said that, I think that like any other workplace, it all relies on the community and the culture that you have that you're dealing with on a day-to-day basis. And I think we're pretty lucky here in Tharwa and generally in the ACT. You know, if you've got the confidence to speak up, people will listen. Sometimes you need to speak a little bit louder than you first started, but generally we're finding it okay, and I think that's thanks to a lot of the strong women we have around us. Well, women in agriculture is not easy. I think it's hard work and it's not 9 to 5. But for us and for this land here and how we're choosing to manage it, it's beyond worth it, especially since we're raising our families here. So it's a job, but it's more than a job. It's a lifestyle and we love it.